Hello and welcome to French Philosophers React, a philosophical take on the news headlines for today, September 19th, 2024. This is an AI-generated podcast intended as an engaging, relevant, and informative way to explore what French philosophers might think about the day's news. But like all AI, it can make mistakes. Use it for generating possible ideas, but don't rely on it as an authoritative guide to the news or to the details of French philosophy. In the news today, a survey of 1,006 GPs found that 1 in 5 use artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT for daily tasks, such as writing letters for patients after appointments. Almost a third used these tools to generate documentation, while a quarter used them to suggest treatment options. However, researchers raised concerns about patient privacy and potential inaccuracies, with some doctors using AI to draft complaint responses that may contain errors or reference incorrect guidelines. Commentary: The delegated decision, how medicine's embrace of artificial intelligence raises questions about authorship and accountability. In the corridors of modern medicine, a quiet revolution is underway. With 1 in 5 GPs now relying on artificial intelligence tools for daily tasks, we are witnessing the gradual delegating of decision-making to machines. This development should not surprise us, given Michel Foucault's profound insight that knowledge is a kind of power, and one of the most formidable kinds at that: discipline and punish. As medicine increasingly abdicates its authority to algorithms, we must confront the uncomfortable truth. In this new landscape, who exactly has the power to make decisions about patient care? The news story before us serves as a stark reminder of the profound implications of this shift. GPs are using AI tools not only to draft letters for patients, but also to generate documentation and suggest treatment options. This raises fundamental questions about accountability. When a doctor relies on an algorithm to guide their decision-making, do they remain responsible for the outcome? Or have they merely become facilitators of a new form of power knowledge, one that operates beneath their own agency? Foucault would caution us against seeking to identify the author of these statements, whether human or machine, and instead to examine who has the power to make them. In this context, it is not merely a matter of patient privacy, but also of the very fabric of medical practice itself. As we increasingly rely on AI-generated documentation, are we creating a culture where errors and inaccuracies become embedded in our records? Do we risk perpetuating biases that have been programmed into these tools, rather than challenging them? This raises an even more disquieting prospect. What happens when the doctor's own expertise is undermined by their reliance on algorithms? Are they merely facilitating a system that prioritizes efficiency over clinical judgment, one that reinforces existing power dynamics in healthcare? Foucault would remind us that knowledge is not an objective reflection of reality, but rather a product of social and cultural forces. As we navigate this new landscape, we must be willing to question our assumptions about the nature of truth itself. In this sense, the real task is not to make doctors aware of their own ignorance, although that is certainly a necessary step, but to put them back on the path to truth, the archaeology of knowledge. This requires us to fundamentally rethink the role of expertise in medicine, one that values human judgment and critical thinking over algorithmic certainty. As we navigate this complex terrain, we must remain vigilant about the power dynamics at play, lest we perpetuate a culture where machines have become the ultimate authority. Ultimately, this shift toward delegating decision-making raises profound questions about our very understanding of medical practice itself. It challenges us to rethink the nature of truth and reality in the age of artificial intelligence, one that has been fundamentally shaped by Foucault's incisive critique of modernity and the Enlightenment values of reason and progress, power knowledge. As we move forward into this uncharted territory, let us not forget that the most critical task is to reclaim our agency as human beings. Even in a world where machines are increasingly capable of performing tasks previously reserved for humans. Thank you for listening to today's episode of French Philosophers React. Be sure to come back tomorrow for more reflective takes on the day's news.